So good morning students, and today I am going to take a subtopic of rickettsia, and in the bacteria topic only. So the next topic I am dealing is a rickettsia. So in this rickettsia, first we'll be dealing what is a just introduction regarding of rickettsia. So this rickettsia type of the bacteria, and it is a intracellular parasite. Okay, so where this kind of parasite is going to develop in a cell structure. Okay, and it is a negative pleomorphic rod shaped. Okay, so it is looks like a inside of the cell, and the polymorphic rod shaped structure it has, and it is a family of arthropods. Okay, so arthropods means like lice, ticks, mites. Okay, so here they are showing, right? So these are the ticks and fleas and the lice. Okay, so these are the cause of the these rickettsia, so to get the infection, parasitic infection for the human being. Okay, so no human to human transmission is going to be there, so but it is mainly transmitted by the lice. Okay, so and it is causing the disease condition of that rickettsia bacteria. Okay, so these bacteria, so it does not cause the rickets. Okay, so rickets is different and rickettsia is different. Okay, so rickets means what? And due to the deficiency of vitamin D it cause. Okay, and whereas in rickettsia means where the disorder which was come from the lice. Okay, so lice, flea or the tick or the mite. Okay, so in past where they have differentiated that between virus and the true bacteria, so they have differentiated that it is a rickettsia bacteria. Okay, so next we go for the naming. So how the name has derived that rickettsia. Okay, so how it the Hudward Tyler Ricketts. Okay, so he only developed that in 1871 to 1920. Okay, so the studies was going on, and first he identified the Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Okay, so in the Bitterroot Valley of the Montana, so he has founded the Rocky Mountain spotted fever. So what he had done means, what is the cause of the fever? First he identified. So how he identified means, first he himself, and he has taken that rickets and he introduced and himself. Okay, and that pathogen he itself injected himself into the pathogen to study the effect and the signs and symptoms of the body. Okay, and in 1910, so he was also interested in taking a strain of typhus also. So because that is also is going to be, so there in the category of this rickettsia family only. And when he injected himself this pathogen and to find out the microorganisms, and later he believed, and he himself died with the disease of rickettsia. Okay, so the name that derived from the rickets, from rickettsia. So next we deal the what are the general characteristics they are finding in the rickettsia process. Okay, so you see that the gram positive bacteria, and it has a DNA, RNA structures and enzymes for the Krebs cycle. Okay, so what are the enzymes essential for the cell growth? Everything has a Krebs cycle and it has present. And next one, ribosomes for the photosynthesis. Okay, and in the cell structure, whatever the parts are there, everything that are included here, and inhibited by antibiotics. So what they are saying that these type of and gram negative bacteria, and it can easily die by the some of the antibiotics like tetracycline and the chloramphenicol. Okay, and originally thought to be viruses. Means how they have expected this virus means, these rickettsia bacteria is very small and is a gram stain, even they are gram staining, and this type of rickettsia is not visible clearly. And you see that the cytoplasmic eukaryotic cells is also going to be seen, and whereas an obligated intracellular parasite. Okay, so already I have shown you in the picturization in the starting, and where it is going to be cell inside of the cell structure, and this rickettsia is going to be stays. Okay, and these rickettsia will be enter, growth and replicate, and within the cell cytoplasm and the eukaryotic host cells. So within the cell itself the growth will be taking place, and whereas an artificially from the environment itself, and these bacteria is going to be so take the nutrition, and where the embryo culture also is going to be there for the further development. Okay, so the reservoir what we can see for this rickettsia is the animals and the arthropods. Okay, so these are the characteristics he has observed. And so next we go for the humans or the accidental host. So accidental host means and due to any, so the lice which was bitten. Okay, so accidental, some of the human characteristics you'll see that some 3 generation of the rickettsia is going to be there. So first one is so rickettsia, okay, Ehrlichia and the Coxella. Okay, so these are the 3 genera which was seen in the rickettsia. So in the intracellular location, and there are 3 types. Okay, that is typhus group and spotted fever group and the Coxella and the Ehrlichia. Okay, so means, so where this kind of infection is going to be transmitted. Okay, so first they have seen that in the cytoplasm the typhus group is going to be developed, and whereas in the nucleus the spotted fever group, and whereas the Coxella and the Ehrlichia, and we can see in the cytoplasmic vacuoles, okay, the cytoplasmic membrane, we can see these type of development of different kind of disorder. Okay, so see here the picture, you can clearly observe that yes, the tick which was bite and the enlargement tick attached to the back of the toddler's head. Okay, so what is going to be there, so directly the infection is going to be transmitted over the head process. Okay, mostly in the children's. And this is a picturization and where the growth development takes place, and already we have discussed that, and what is the structure, same like bacteria structure only it will look like. And whereas an embryo cell growth, see here the scattered rickettsia is going to be there, and where the spreading over all the area. Okay, so that are the masses of rickettsia in the nucleus. So where development is takes place, that is called as embryonic development. So in the microscopic viewer they have differentiated. And next one is the rickettsia species and its diseases. So species means, so whatever the classification of the rickettsia. So the species you have seen that, so rickettsia prowazekii. Okay, so it may causes the typhus and the Brill-Zinsser disease. So in the human body, in the reservoir is a human body loves. Okay, so like lysis. And next one is the rickettsia typhi, and it is endemic typhus only, and from rat flea we are going to get. And whereas a rickettsia rickettsii, so that is Rocky Mountain spotted fever. By ticks we are going to get that one. And rickettsia conori, and you may see that Botanius fever. Okay, so that is also caused by the ticks. And next rickettsia australis, and where this is a Australian tick typhus. Okay, it's also caused by tick characteristics only. And next one, so rickettsia siberica, so siberica tick typhus, and it is also caused by the ticks. And next rickettsia acari, and it was reached by rickettsia pox, the disease which was causing is the rickettsia pox, like it is there, and the reservoir which was there in the mites. Okay, so this is a classification rickettsia specimen and its disease classification, how they have differentiated. And next, so how the rickettsia infection is going to be transmitted. So already you knows that, so when the disease rickettsia enter into the body, and the incubation period will be starts first. So in the incubation periods, and first they are going to see the hypersensitivity reaction. Okay, so whenever the tick bites the person, hypersensitivity reaction means, so the inflammation and infection, the redness, swelling, everything is going to be occur over the part of the skin. And within that part itself the bacteria is going to be multiplies, and in that part, and it is going to be, so enters into the lymphatic system. So when it enters into the lymphatic system, automatically the phagocytosis is going to be, means, so the macrophages, so the antigens or the antibodies of fight against the antigens. So in that process, and two process, phagocytosis will be takes place, and multiplication of the rickettsia is going to be takes place. And after 7 to 10 days, and the replication of the nucleus and the cytoplasmic membrane we can see, and where intracytoplasmic inclusion will be there, and intranucleus inclusion only. So because, and where the rickettsia is going to be get the infection inside of the cell only. So where infected cells we can show in the intracytoplasmic inclusion and the intranuclear inclusion. So in that case, what is going to be there when it enters into the cytoplasmic and the nucleus, and automatically you see that maculopapular skin rashes we can see. Yes, and where the pimple is going to be filled with the pus collections. Okay, so that is going to be arises, and prevascular tissue necrosis. So overall the area you can see the necrosis formation. Okay, so necrosis means what? the death tissue is called as a necrosis, yes, thrombosis and the ischemia. So these are the blood disorders which was causing. And after that, what is going to be there, and where endothelial lesions lead to the increased capillary permeability. So means, and after that, what is going to be the weakening of the blood cells and increased permeability in the intracellular structure. Okay, fluid filled structure in the cell, and the cell will be leaking out and bulging over the skin, we can see. And you can see the hemorrhages and hypotension, shock or edema over all the body, we can see. And in that way, and in this cyclar process, you can see the coagulation process also is going to be seen in the intravascular structure. Okay, and clotting also we can arise. So that is the pathogenicity of the rickettsia. Okay, so incubation period starts and the hypersensitivity reaction is going to be starts. So when the hypersensitivity reaction start, and it is going to be multiply in the lymphatic system, and after that, and it is going to be whatever the antigens are there, and it is going to be phagocyte by macrophages, and 7 to 10 days, and where means multiplication is going to be there in the nucleus and cytoplasm. So that is called as what, intracytoplasmic and intranuclear inclusion. So when it happens, and you can see maculopapular skin rashes, prevascular tissue necrosis, and the thrombosis and the ischemia, you can see. And after that, and where the passage of the blood vessel is going to be increase the permeability, and it may lead to the edema and hemorrhage and the hypertension, shock. So later, and you can see the disseminated intravascular coagulation disorder, you can see, and the clotting system also is going to be enhances. Okay, so that is a pathophysiology of rickettsia. Okay, so what are the rickettsia infection classification? So this rickettsia infection classification is going to be two types, that is, so typhus. Okay, so first one is a typhus fever group and the spotted fever group. Okay, so in that first one is what, epidemic typhus or the Brill-Zinsser typhus, and second one is endemic typhus. And the spotted fever again divided into Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Siberian tick typhus, and Botanius fever, Australian tick typhus, and the rickettsia pox. So first we'll be dealing with the cause of epidemic typhus. Okay, so these epidemic typhus, which is the cause of rickettsia prowazekii. Okay, so rickettsia prowazekii, it's a, already we are discussing the classification, that is a human body louse. Okay, so that is lice. Okay, so this is a cause, and with incubation period, you can see the 5 to 21 days of incubation period, you can see. And mortality rate, and with this type of infection, is 20 to 30% in untreated cases, we can see. But treated cases, anyway, it is going to be subsided. And symptoms, fever, severe headache, and chills, generalized myalgia, and high fever, vomiting, macular rash, and the lack of consciousness due to hemorrhagic or the cause of septic shocks. Okay, and next one is a Brill-Zinsser, or it is also called as a recrudescent typhus. So it is also the reactivation of the rickettsia prowazekii. Okay, and where, so in the epidemic, whenever we are seeing this typhus, and it is hypersensitivity reaction, it is going to be shows. And so these are the symptoms of original attack, including maculopapular rash only, we can see. And it is also the louse vector, which is transmitted by the, so from the louse vector only. Okay, and mild illness and low mortality rate only, we can see with these kind of Brill-Zinsser or recrudescent typhus. Okay, and next one is endemic typhus. Endemic typhus means, and it is also called as a murine typhus. Okay, and the cause of the rickettsia is a Rickettsia typhi, and which was caused by what, rat flea. Okay, so when the flea bites, so this is a flea, yes, this is a structure of the flea, and whenever the flea bites, and automatically the infection is going to be enters into the body, and so it often, and we are can't able to differentiate whether it is a virus illness or the bacterial illness. So that is a differentiation we can make in this. Or so most of who are infected do not realize, and when the bitten by the fleas only, and this endemic typhus is going to be arised. And symptoms same like that one, headache, fever, muscle pain, joint pain, nausea, and the vomiting, we can see. Okay, so within 6 days, and after the onset of the signs, automatically it is going to be decreases. And some of the neurological disorders also, you can see that confusion, stupor, seizures or imbalance is going to be there in the structure. so that only they are confused with the virus illness or the bacterial illness. So next one is a Rocky Mountain spotted fever. So it is caused by the Rickettsia rickettsii. Okay, so it was mainly caused by the tick bite. Okay, here you have seen the picture, right? So most serious form this one, and you see the initial symptoms and the later symptoms. Okay, so overall the picture you can see that on overall the body you will have the rashes. So small spot like rashes you can observe in the Rocky Mountain spotted fever. So in this you can see that fever, nausea, and you will have the vomiting, and severe headache and muscle pain you will have, and a lack of appetite you will have, and parotitis means inflammation of the overall body area. Okay, and you see the maculopapular rash will be the petechial rash. So petechial rash means, and you see that the rash will be a reddish and a lack of gangrene formation you can see, and abdominal pain and joint pain and the forgetfulness. Okay, so these are the symptoms you can see in the Rocky Mountain spotted fever. And next one is a rickettsia pox. Okay, so how the chicken pox and the smallpox is going to be arises, in the same way this rickettsia pox is going to be developed. Okay, so the cause of this is a rickettsia acari. Okay, and where what is a vector form is, that is a mite is going to be there, and it is a resembles same like chicken pox only. Okay, and whenever you are seeing that you will be having the fever, chills, weakness you will have, and some muscle pains you are going to say, and paining the infected person entire body. So means like pricky pain is going to be there over all the bodies. And some of the other spotted fever like maculopapular rashes on the sole of the foot, and late petechial rashes on the palm or forearm. See here the petechial rashes, you may see that the reddish around the structure. So what are the complications of these type of the rickettsia disease? So with this you are going to arise as the bronchopneumonia. So the person is going to be arise as the oxygen, okay, lack of oxygen, or inhalation and exhalation process will be difficult, and congestive heart failure is going to be there, and multi-organ failure. Okay, and deafness, and you may see the DIs already we discussed that, and myocarditis, endocarditis, okay, and glomerulonephritis, okay, inflammation of the kidney. Okay, that are the complications. And laboratory diagnosis we can do the first, we can do the culture and isolation and the serological test. So these are the two process they are done for the rickettsia condition. So culture means what? So the blood, okay, whatever the blood is there, that is going to be inoculated in a guinea pig or the mice. So these guinea pig and under culture they are going to observation should be kept in 3 to 4 weeks they are going to keep, and the animal is responding to the symptoms of the rickettsia. Okay, and where this is difficult and dangerous because, and this infection is very very dangerous, and in that you can see the symptoms of the guinea pig in the mice, the rise in temperature, scrotal inflammation. Yes, the scrotum inflammation will be there with the fluid filled and swelling, and the necrosis, the death of the cell you can see in this culture. And mostly you can see these kind of scrotal inflammation, swelling and necrosis in the Rickettsia typhi, Rickettsia coroni and the Rickettsia acari. And how you are going to do the serological test. So this is called as a Wellflex test. So what they are going to do here means, and whatever the bacteria is there, that they are going to collect from the sample, and while Flix test they are doing, complement fixation test they are doing, indirect fluorescent and the direct fluorescent. So how they are detecting means antibodies they are detecting out. Okay, cross reactivity, some strains they are adding to the bacteria Rickettsia, and they are going to find out the bacterial shape. Okay, complex fixation tells fixation also the same thing means, so they are going to check the sensitivity of the bacteria. So in the indirect fluorescent means, and they are going to differentiate, so with the color. Direct also same like this only. Okay, so this is a Wellflex. Okay, so how they are going to do here Wellflex test means, first they will take the serum. Okay, and what they will be doing, so they will in the separate 3 tubes they are taking, and they are going to add the sample of series strains they are adding, that is Proteus vulgaris strain they are adding. So when they are added to the product, and these what is going to be there means agglutination is going to be formed overnight of 37 degrees their incubation when we done, and agglutination is going to be done. That is if different types of agglutination they have given here. Okay, that is strong agglutination with some of the 0x19 category, and strong agglutination with and 0x19 and 0x2 spotted fever. So like that, according to the category, the stages of bacteria has been differentiated. Okay, so here immunofluorescent antibody technique is this one. And the next, treatment. So what is the treatment they are going to give here means adequate antibiotic therapy they are giving. Okay, that is doxycycline and chloramphenicol, and also the chlorophenicol and the fluoroquinolones. Okay, such as ciprofloxacin, ofloxacin, and this is a major treatment they are giving for the rickettsia disease. Okay, and whenever you are using this antibiotic therapy, and within the 24 to 72 hours itself, and it is easily subsides. Okay, so that is a treatment they are giving, and that is regarding of the rickettsia condition. Okay, thank you.